The thing that seriously holds me back is performance anxiety. It's been with me for the majority of my life, and it's something that brings me out of the moment.
Would you like to find out where it's coming from?
Yeah, I would love to find out.
Close your eyes for a bit. Feel the presence of the spirit of ayahuasca. Thank you, thank you, thank you. When you're ready, open your eyes. How do you feel about you performing?
I feel lighter. I feel great. It's absolutely real. I feel it to my core.
Z is a high performing IT engineer and a creator on a mission to impact the world and make it a better place by inspiring self love, confidence, and self expression in people through his art. He had an ayahuasca experience a few months ago in Peru, and he actually had to face some of his deepest demons and learn how to surrender to life. But the spirit also shared with him how he could benefit from being more in the present and being more self-loving. He decided to quit his job and become a full-time creator, but he was still being held back by his perfectionism and performance anxiety. If you're new to the channel, my name is Bogdan, and my gift is unlocking high-performing entrepreneurs' ability to impact the world. And in this powerful conversation, we actually summoned the spirit of ayahuasca to bring to the surface a much needed truth. Let's see what happened. Z, if we were to talk about one thing that would move your life forward
Hmm.
and change everything again for you,
Hmm.
what would that be?
Well, the thing that I've been kind of working on now is that I know seriously holds me back is performance anxiety.
Mm,
Um, I feel it to my core to express myself artistically, whether it be through storytelling through videos or dancing through videos. But I always have this sense of like performance anxiety, and
mm-hmm.
it's been with me for the majority of my life, and it's something that brings me out of the moment.
Right.
Um, yeah, it's like when you're performing or when you're gifting a performance to others, the best performance are always when a person is not thinking and they're just so in it in the
Yep.
moment.
Yep.
Yeah. For me, when you have performance anxiety, it's sort of like you're pulling yourself back from being the first person to just one perspective above. And then I start kind of nitpicking every little thing of how I choose to express myself.
Mm-hmm.
Performance anxiety is a big one that I'm looking to work on.
Yep. Yeah, and I can definitely relate. In martial arts, it's the same. If you need to think,
Mm,
you're slow.
mm,
There's no time to think. There's only time to be, right? And that state of being, it's basically the state of flow, right? Let's kind of reverse engineer everything a bit. Um, Before we started recording, you mentioned a bit about your big vision, about your
mm,
dream. What does
mhm.
that look like?
Yeah, it's interesting because it started to come to me with more clarity after our last meeting,
Hmm.
um, and certain opportunities started coming up. So
I'm not surprised.
yeah, the timing was perfect. Like it was almost like after our meeting, I
Um,
spoke the truth and aligned everything, and then opportunities started coming up. And one of the opportunities was like working. I was invited to join a team to basically create a software bot to
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
trade. Um, and this is with like professional traders who are friends of mine,
right.
to generate passive income. So that's one of the visions of bringing this to life. And
Mm-hmm,
another
mm-hmm,
one is
mm-hmm,
also like coaching people. I never thought I would do that. But then I
right.
realized I've always been doing that. I just never put the label of coaching people. I've just friends have come to me for interview coaching, for life coaching. But it was just something that I did. I never saw it as like a vocation. And
Right.
then I saw clearly that I could do this. And especially after talking to you, Bogdan, like you said something that was really interesting and that really struck me was at first you were like, who would pay me money to do this? And then eventually I kind of shifted to like, well, of course people will pay me money to do this,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah,
Yeah.
so those two are like some of my the main visions, and the next few steps has been unveiled for me. So I'm taking these steps
Hmm.
and seeing how it develops.
Beautiful. Let me point out something that's coming up for me right now.
Mhm.
You remember last time we spoke about not fitting in a box?
Mhm.
You don't need to call it necessarily. I mean, I call it coaching because that's kind of the lingo. But what I really do is like go inside and rip people open and allow that power to come out,
Mm.
right? Maybe more gently than I just use my gestures to point out.
Yeah.
The feeling of it doesn't need to be coaching. It can be just opening people.
Mm.
It can be whatever you like. You can call you know it can take any shape or form you like. My way of quote unquote coaching is very untraditional, let's say. Um and that's an asset, right? I didn't realize that. So feel free to play around with it however you like, however you feel represents you
Mhm.
the best in that sense, right? So coaching the softer, and congrats for opening yourself up for that opportunity. I feel energy in that sense as well. I feel excitement for that, right? That has a lot of potential.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And I love the fact that you're not leaving behind your analytical engineerial mind, right? You're taking the whole package with you, and I love that.
Mhm.
Um, and they're all vehicles, right? But what's the outcome, right? What would make you really, really happy
Mm.
in terms of
So
your contribution in the world, right?
yeah, outcome. Well, specifically, right, for the software project, the outcome is simply to allow myself to gain like a sustainable source of income so that I can more so focus on creative endeavors and
Yes,
service of others.
yes, yes.
So that's definitely the outcome. And also,
Would that be fun for you, like that project?
yes, well, so far it's been
Mm-hmm.
and it has been fun mainly because it's with someone I was a dear friend of mine, and we
Mm-hmm.
also deeply respect each other. So it's fun to work together.
Oh, so
Um,
you accepted the job, right?
yeah, I mean, it's not like a official job working for a company. It's like
Mm-hmm.
a project with two professional traders.
Right. But
Yeah.
you are getting paid for it, right?
Sorry.
You are getting paid for it.
Oh no, like what I'm getting paid for is once I create the bot and it works, that
Okay.
is in itself. Yeah.
And how long would it take you for to complete it?
Well, that's the part that's the stage we're kind of on at the moment. Is because they've been trading and sustaining themselves through their technique for
Mm-hmm.
one guy for like 5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so now we're just trying to figure out like how we can translate this into an automated bot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so the timeline is still a little bit vague right now. We're trying to figure out the possibility. So that's the
Mm-hmm.
stage that we're at right now.
And worst case scenario, 6 months, a year, 3 years.
Right.
When do you think it will be complete?
Oh, okay. I'll say worst case scenario, a year. I'd be quite
Mm-hmm.
surprised if it does reach a year, but worst case scenario, I'll put that the destination in my mind as the worst case scenario.
Beautiful, beautiful. So I personally think that that's a great idea, because whether you're doing creative work or coaching, especially in coaching,
Mhm.
if you need the client to pay your bills, it's going to be a very rough ride, because whenever some, potential client feels that you need them more than they need you, they're going to be, they're going to hit the ground running.
Mm,
And same with creative work. When you're stressed about money, you might not do your best work because you're going to be thinking like, what sells?
mhm,
Let me fit into that mold, right? So having that financial stability to allow you to play around and kind of discover yourself as quote unquote coach, as a quote unquote creative, I think that's a very wise way of doing it. Um, so in terms of impacting people with your creative work,
mm.
you mentioned that like last time you mentioned that you wanted to share joy, right? What did you want to share?
Yeah, I wanted to share joy and kind of help bring people's awareness and mind to the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Just be so freely willing to express myself without judgment, without fear,
Mm,
that people can't help but see the possibility of themselves doing the same thing, living
mm-hmm.
in such a way where they can express themselves without anxiety or judgment, just by me being me, you know.
Beautiful. And what's going to happen to the world if more and more people wake up to that?
Mm. I think the world would become a much more, how do I want to put this, expressive place.
Mm,
I'll give you an example. Like this one time, I was on a trail and I was just walking, and I just felt the desire to kind of dance while I walk,
mm-hmm.
and it was interesting because then like while people walk by, some of them were giving me looks like, "Is this guy doing?" Like that type of
Mm-hmm.
look. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and the thing is like I feel deep down inside them, everybody has that little child within them that wants to express themselves that way too, but it's been closed off. Um, and then you can see like sparks within certain people where just like, oh, this guy's just expressing himself. I could do the same. It's sort of like that seed has been planted.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And when did you notice the spark in people? Because I mean, you were dancing, right? They were walking by.
yeah, they were dancing, and then like I was walking and dancing, and
Right.
I like to greet people, at least
Right.
acknowledge them visually when I'm on a trail. Um, in Philadelphia, in certain areas of Philadelphia, it's a little bit rough because people are very to themselves. They avoid eye
Mm-hmm.
contact.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the ones that I noticed were the ones that we did make eye contact together,
Mm-hmm.
and you feel this lightness come to them, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what I noticed.
Mm. Right. So you're very sensitive, and you're a great listener. Did you have performance anxiety when walking and dancing?
Hmm. It's so funny because like in that case, no.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I will have to say this is that I did take an edible earlier before
Mm.
the trail, and
Right.
I think that might have helped me just be in the moment. And like
Mm-hmm.
when you're in that altered state, it it helps you with creative expression. So performance anxiety wasn't, it kind of just disappeared in that state, though I don't want to rely on something that's external to myself to allow me to achieve that state.
Mm-hmm. What does that look like, performance anxiety?
Mm. Well, it does manifest itself in like certain physical things that happen to me where when, let's say I'm singing and playing piano, I I start to zoom out my perspective and start kind of like, oh, everything got to be perfect, and
Mm-hmm.
then my hands start sweating, and then if my if I like didn't hit a note the way I want to hit that note, I would hyper focus in on that mistake instead of like, the general attitude is in the good performers that I've noticed is that mistakes, it is what it is. Just don't hold on to it. You just got to keep it going. And for me, I kind of keep I kind of hyperfixate back on the mistake, and then it
Mhm.
throws my rhythm off. So that's a description of what I guess performance anxiety looks like on
Mhm.
from my perspective.
Yeah. Who did you have to be perfect for growing up?
Mm. I've never been asked that question before, and huh, that might require a bit more thought on my end because there's not an immediate answer that just
Mm-hmm.
comes up. I think I was trying to be perfect for myself. Um,
Was there any pressure from your family?
when it comes to no, actually, mainly because they weren't really around.
Right.
They were so busy working, so they
Mhm.
didn't have time. Um, yeah.
Right. What was their reaction when you played the piano or danced and it just went really, really well?
They were proud, like
Mhm.
incredibly proud,
Mhm.
and there's just this glisten and light and
Mhm.
glow to them, especially coming from my mom of like, wow, like this is
Mhm.
my child.
Mhm.
Um, and I felt that, and it was an incredible feeling.
What was their reaction when you were expressing yourself artistically, dancing, playing the piano, and didn't go well? You missed a note or you screwed up.
Nothing changed. They had the
Beautiful.
exact same reaction.
So it's not from your parents.
Mm,
Mm, it's from somewhere else. Would
yeah.
you like to find out where it's coming from?
Yeah, I would love to find out.
Mm. Close your eyes for a bit.
Mhm.
Feel the presence of the spirit of ayahuasca right now in the room with you. Feel her energy, her wisdom, her power, and her love. Is she happy to see you?
Yes.
Beautiful. Ask the spirit about your performance anxiety, why it's there, how it's serving you.
She said the performance anxiety is there to protect me, is to
Mm,
protect me from being hurt by
mm,
other people's reactions.
mm. Beautiful. Is she saying anything else?
I'm doing it, the performance anxiety and the performance itself. I was trying to be perfect kind of for myself.
Mm,
And I don't need to do that anymore because I'm already perfect as I am.
mm. Ask her where is the need for perfection coming from? Mm,
You said the need for perfection comes from myself again. The it's the idea that I have to be a
mm,
certain way. I'm
mhm,
self-imposing it onto myself, but no one else is imposing it onto me, and no one is judging me for being anything less than myself.
mm. Is there anything left to learn when your skill has reached perfection?
No. Yeah.
Is there any growth possible when you're already perfect?
No.
No. Beautiful. Does God know what you're going to do next?
No.
Ask her. Exactly. God is just as surprised as you because God is growing through your and mine and all of our mistakes, all of our experiments, all of our tests. We are meant to play because that is how we expand. It's a two-way street. God shares with us. We share with her, him, life, whatever you want to call it. See yourself on stage in this humongous stadium, dancing, playing, doing your thing, being you. Everything's going well. And then all of a sudden you screw up. Events ruined. You're like, oh my God, this is the end of my career. What am I going to do? I really screwed up here. And then notice people's hearts lighting up in the stadium, one by one. Notice their love. Notice that they're human, just like you. Notice how some of them won't forgive you because they cannot forgive themselves. Notice how most do. And notice how something that seemed like the biggest screw up is just another day in the diary. You cannot fail. There's no such thing. There's only growth. Ask the spirit if she wants to share anything else with you.
She said that I'm to love more, love myself more, and love.
Beautiful. Does she have any message for me?
She said that to continue on your path, to continue with your work. You are a warrior shaman, and it is your calling to continue planting and unlocking these abilities within people. It is your mission, that you're doing a fantastic job to continue with it.
Thank you. I appreciate her. I appreciate you.
We appreciate you too.
And I love my mission. Thank you, thank you, thank you. When you're ready, open your eyes.
Oh,
Was your cat singing on the piano?
oh, not anymore. He's literally right outside of the door. He just loves to intrude on my meetings. While I'm doing other things, he's totally chill.
She just wants, or he just wants your attention.
Yeah.
How do you feel about you performing?
I feel lighter. I feel, I feel great. It's, you've helped me recontextualize what performance is in relation to an audience. Not everyone is out there to nitpick at every single quote unquote screw up. Some
Mm-hmm.
people maybe, but other people are are not. They're just there to see you thrive and to
Mm-hmm.
enjoy your performance, um, and to let go of the concept of perfection.
I think part of the weight is around the definition of it. Because definitions have power, right? Performance implies performance, being at a high performance level, right?
Mm.
Every single time. But nobody's at a high performance level every single time,
Mm.
right? So maybe instead of calling it performance, just like we talked about coaching, not necessarily calling it coaching, calling it whatever you like, whatever feels good, right? What else could you call it?
The word that immediately came to mind is expression and expressing.
I swear I had the same word in my head.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. Right? What if it doesn't have to be a performance and it's just an expression?
Mm.
That way, the is part of the quote unquote performance, is part of the expression.
Yeah, that helps a lot to just see it as expression. I'm just expressing myself, and there's no wrong way to express myself as long as I'm expressing what I truly feel, you
Right?
know?
So think of the word, right? Express. It's out of, like, it's been in the press, now it's out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There we go. There's an expression.
Hmm, it is. Mm. I love expressing. Yeah, I
There we
love
go.
it. So
There we go.
there's nothing to hold back. It's just there's no need to hold back. It feels so good to express how I feel, to express what I'm thinking, and to communicate. Expression in and of itself is a form of communication, and you're kind of just inviting your audience in on this like energetic exchange. And it's so it's a dance. It's a beautiful dance between you and your audience. It's amazing. I love it.
There we go. Well
Mm.
done. I think we're there.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much for all the help and everything that you do, man. Seriously, it's when I met you, this phrase kind of popped up, which was like, the guide or the teacher will appear when you are ready.
Hmm.
For a long time, I didn't know what that is or who that person was, but it was because I wasn't ready to receive the type of healing and guidance that is your work, that is your vocation that you can provide. And and then randomly on a day that seemed completely insignificant, I got a message from you to meet, and we did. And you did your work on me, and I am living testament to just how well you do your work of unlocking people's potential. Like it's absolutely real. I feel it to my core. What you do is absolutely real, man.
Yeah. And I ran away from it for a long time.
Mm.
I'm happy that I'm not running, and I'm happy that I'm sharing.
Yeah, yeah.
So appreciate you for receiving, for allowing it to grow and expressing it fully.
Mm.
Yeah, very happy.
Thank you, man.
Very happy.
Me too. incredibly happy.
Thank you so much for tuning into this powerful conversation. I appreciate you deeply. And if you're on a mission to impact the world and make it a better place, if you have a track record of success and you want to reach your next level with a lot more ease, I'd be happy to help. There's a link in the description where you can book a powerful conversation together that will bring to the surface hidden resources that will make you unstoppable on your mission to impact the world. In other words, you will achieve your big vision sooner than you think. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and absolutely check out this video right here where I helped my multimillionaire client double his impact and income.